You wake up before the sun. Your body is lighter than it should be. Not thinner, lighter, because something is missing. You are 14 years old, and yesterday, a man with a knife removed your testicles in a single cut. You survived. Most boys don't. And the strange part? Your family is grateful. Why? We'll get there. It is the year 1420. The capital is Beijing. The ruler is the Yongle Emperor. You are property of the Imperial Court, specifically the Inner Court, a royal eunuch. Under the Ming Dynasty, there are more than 70,000 eunuchs serving inside the Forbidden City at its peak in the 15th century. 70,000. Most castrated before age 15. Life expectancy for men in Ming China hovers around 35 to 40 years. For eunuchs, harder to calculate. Records disappear. But infections from castration alone kill an estimated 10 to 20%. And statistically, you don't survive this. But that's not the first thing that breaks you. Morning begins in silence. You rise before dawn. You kneel. You wait. Your job might be carrying chamber pots, or guarding doors you are not allowed to look through, or delivering sealed documents you are forbidden to read. Breakfast is thin millet porridge, sometimes pickled vegetables. Meat is rare. You are issued 2 cotton uniforms per year, shoes with paper soles. In winter, the wind cuts through palace corridors like a blade. You are not allowed to marry, not allowed to adopt heirs with permission, not allowed to leave the palace with written authorization stamped in vermilion ink. But the palace is enormous, nearly 1,000 buildings, more than 8,000 rooms. You could spend your entire life inside and never see it all. At first, it feels stable, predictable, safe from peasant taxes, safe from bandits, safe from famine. And that's the illusion, because this is the easy part. Castration was not symbolic, it was total. In Imperial China, most eunuchs underwent full removal, penis and testicles. The procedure is called quanshen, complete body removal. No anesthesia beyond alcohol, a single slice. A bamboo tube inserted to keep the urethra open. If you fail to urinate within 3 days, you die. Your severed genitals are preserved in oil, stored carefully, because tradition says you must be buried whole, even in death. Imagine guarding a jar containing your own body. That's before politics enters the room. By 1392, under the Hongwu Emperor, the first ruler of the Ming Dynasty, eunuchs were officially banned from interfering in government. The law is clear. Eunuchs may not learn to read, may not handle memorials, may not discuss policy. Punishment? Death by slicing. But emperors need servants, and servants hear everything. By the reign of the Yongle Emperor in 1402, the ban quietly erodes. Eunuchs begin handling secret police functions, intelligence networks, even military commands. One eunuch, Zhang He, commands 7 massive treasure fleets between 1405 and 1433. Ships over 120 meters long, sailing as far as East Africa. A castrated servant commanding 27,000 men. Think about that. You are forbidden to read, unless the emperor trusts you. And if he does, you become dangerous. But the law never changed. Technically, your power is illegal, and illegal power is fragile. There are 3 ways this ends. You remain invisible, you gain influence, or you are executed. In 1477, a eunuch named Wang Ji is arrested for corruption and exiled. In 1510, Lu Jin, another powerful eunuch, accused of plotting rebellion. He is executed by Ling Ji, death by 1,000 cuts, over 3,000 slices. His wealth is confiscated, his family slaughtered. You don't have children, but you have allies, and allies vanish quickly. The palace is quiet, but beneath it, factions sharpen knives, and you have no bloodline to protect you. The real cost isn't political, it's physical. Castration changes your body, lower muscle mass, higher fat accumulation, weaker bones, hormonal imbalance. Urinary infections are common, bladder stones frequent.
Medical texts from the Ming period describe chronic incontinence among aging eunuchs. You are mocked for your voice. High, thin. Sometimes you are called neither male nor female. Socially, you exist in a third category. Useful, but not fully human. Marriage is impossible. Descendants impossible. In Confucian society, filial duty demands sons. You cannot provide one, which means your ancestors go spiritually unattended. That matters, more than you think. And that's before you consider childhood. Many eunuchs volunteered, or were sold. In poor provinces during crop failures, like the famine years of the 1440s, families made calculations. One son castrated could send wages home. A low-ranking eunuch might earn 3 to 5 taels of silver per year. A skilled artisan outside the palace earns maybe 2. But inside, there is food security, shelter, access to influence. So a father chooses. One son less masculine, the others survive. You are 14. You agree, because hunger is worse. Or so you think. Inside the Forbidden City, power concentrates unnaturally. The emperor is isolated. Ministers kneel outside the Meridian Gate. But eunuchs stand beside the throne. You hand him his tea. You light his incense. You hear his doubts. By the late 1500s, eunuchs oversee the Eastern Depot, a secret police agency established in 1420. They arrest scholars, interrogate officials, operate prisons, all outside normal legal channels. Confessions extracted under torture are admissible, and you might be the one holding the bamboo rod, or the one tied to it. There is no appeal. During the reign of the Wanli Emperor, court politics stall. The emperor withdraws from daily governance for nearly 20 years. Eunuchs fill the vacuum. Corruption flourishes. Officials resent you. Scholar officials write essays condemning palace vermin. In 1624, a powerful eunuch named Wei Zongshen purges members of the Donglin Academy. Hundreds imprisoned, some beaten to death. He builds temples to himself, lives like a prince. 3 years later, the emperor dies. Wei is arrested. He hangs himself before execution. His corpse is dismembered, his supporters executed. The wheel turns fast, and you are always beneath it. Let's talk mortality. Infant mortality in Ming China is estimated at 20 to 30%. Disease outbreaks, smallpox, dysentery, plague are common. In crowded palace corridors, infection spreads quickly. Castration scars never fully disappear. Without antibiotics, even minor wounds become fatal. If you reach 40, you are considered old. Few eunuchs retire wealthy. Many die in service, buried in collective graves outside the city walls, sometimes without their preserved roots. And if that jar is lost, you are buried incomplete. A small terror, but constant. Who benefits from this system? The emperor gains loyal servants, without competing bloodlines. No sons, no dynasties, no in-laws forming power blocks. Eunuchs are dependent entirely on imperial favor. Scholar officials benefit too. They blame you for corruption, which protects the system itself. When the dynasty weakens, eunuchs become scapegoats. When it thrives, you remain invisible. In 1644, the Ming dynasty collapses. Peasant rebellions. Manchu armies breach the Great Wall. The last Ming emperor hangs himself on Coal Hill. Many eunuchs commit suicide beside him, loyal to the end, or with nowhere else to go. And that loyalty was manufactured. Psychologically, something shifts. You stop imagining a family. You stop imagining old age. Your world shrinks to corridors and whispers. You measure life in reign titles. Yongle, Xuande, Wangle. Not years. You learn to read faces, to predict moods, to survive on proximity. Friendship is risky. Ambition is lethal. But stagnation is suffocating. So you balance, every day, between visibility and invisibility, between usefulness and threat. And after 20 years, it feels normal. The strange thing is, some eunuchs became patrons of art, builders of temples, sponsors of literature. Shanghai is still remembered as a maritime hero, not as a mutilated servant. History is selective. It forgets the knife, remembers the ships. You might rise. You might influence emperors. You might control intelligence networks. But none of that restores what was taken at 14. And everyone knows it. In the end, it doesn't feel like horror. It feels like employment. A career path carved in flesh. The palace walls glow red at sunset. Incense burns. Bells ring. and you stand in silk robes that almost feel dignified. Almost. The strange thing about suffering is that when thousands share it, when it's regulated, recorded, stamped with imperial seals, it stops feeling extraordinary. It becomes tradition, and tradition is rarely questioned. You wake up tomorrow, still lighter than you should be, and you bow, because this is your life, and statistically, you survived it.